Unlike many parts of the country, Idaho is open for business. Up until a few days ago, 100% of all Idaho businesses were able to open their doors. And 2 weeks ago, we entered the final stage of our Idaho Rebounds Plan, an approach that has drawn praise from President Trump, Vice President Pence, and the White House officials. Even earlier than that, 95% of Idaho businesses were able to open their doors on May 1st. Our staged approach is a safe, responsible way to rebound our economy and keep our citizens safe. With more and more activity occurring around Idaho and more people going back to work, we knew there would be a rise in confirmed cases of COVID-19, especially as we increased our testing. We've relied on the expertise of medical professionals, public health officials, and we followed direction from President Trump and the CDC to develop a three-pronged system of evaluating moving in and out of stages. Back in March, we put in place a statewide stay-home order to abruptly slow the spread of coronavirus across Idaho in order to protect lives and preserve and strengthen healthcare capacity. 3 months ago, testing was limited. 3 months ago, the public health district's ability to effectively contact trace was limited. That's a centuries-old practice of letting people know if they've been directly exposed to a dangerous disease. 3 months ago, we saw some areas of Idaho facing alarming healthcare capacity constraints. 3 months ago, we didn't have enough personal protective equipment for businesses and healthcare workers. The statewide approach 3 months ago was the right thing to do. But from the start, our plan was to eventually transition to a more regional approach. Earlier this week, Central District Health made the decision to move Ada County back to a modified Stage 3 in order to protect lives and preserve healthcare capacity. These are tough decisions, but we understand it. The public health officials across the state have our support for doing what it takes to ensure our hospitals aren't overrun with people seriously ill from complications of this highly contagious respiratory disease. The 7 public health districts across the state are continually evaluating the criteria at the local level and will announce any changes in moving forward if that becomes necessary to flatten the curve. From a statewide perspective, today I'm announcing that we have not met the criteria to move out of Stage 4. Dr. Chris Hahn, our state epidemiologist, will explain the details in a bit. We will remain in Stage 4 for at least another 2 weeks, at which time we'll examine the numbers again to determine if we can move out of Stage 4. Folks, we want businesses to open. We want our children back in school at the end of summer. So please, do not lay your guard down. You can engage in the economy, safely go back to work, and safely receive care from your medical provider. But you must do so while practicing the proven measures to fight COVID-19. Wear protective face coverings in public. Keep physical distance at least 6 feet from others outside your household. Wash hands and surfaces regularly, and stay home if you're sick. Together, and only together, we can restore the prosperity that we had just months ago. In the meantime, we'll continue to support Idaho's economy. To date, we have provided more than $64 million in direct cash support for nearly 6,500 businesses. We've made personal protective equipment available to more than 3,100 small businesses in order to keep workers and patrons safe. We've responded to the needs of businesses and having difficulty recruiting employees by making return-to-work bonuses available. President Trump, White House officials, and congressional Republicans are reviewing Idaho's approach. We're seeking to counteract a federal program that discourages returning to work so our economy can rebound more quickly, something that benefits us all. We made up to $200 million available to support public safety and pass the savings on to property taxpayers. We will continue to lead the country in our support of businesses and workers. I'm confident that by working together, Idaho will rebound more swiftly and robustly than most other parts of the country and the world.